guys, and welcome back to my channel. This is going to be mainly a match review of the Newcastle game, but we're also going to be discussing like the Man United game because I didn't do a match review for that. And then also we're going to be discussing Conte again. I feel like this is a constant thing after most matches, but we're going to be discussing it again, guys. So if you do enjoy this video, give it a big thumbs up, subscribe down below, and without further ado, we're going to get straight into it. So basically there's no structure to this video, like there's no structure whatsoever, so it could be a bit, you know, here and there and everywhere, but I decided I'm just going to go off the cuff and just speak what's on my mind. Obviously we are going to be discussing the two losses that we've had recently, and it's been 2 days since the Newcastle game, so I'm not as angry as I was because it takes me like a day or two to get over like a bad result. I'm sort of over it now. We've got another game tomorrow against Sporting, and you know we've got to focus on that. But yeah, so basically where do I start really? So if we just start talking about the Man United game a bit, the most frustrating thing that I found is that we started the game well. We started the better side. We had like a couple of early chances. We should have definitely done more with the chances we had early on. I definitely think if we scored like a goal from one of those 2 chances or whatever, then, you know, it would, well, obviously it would be a different game because we didn't end up scoring it anyways. But I feel like it was just giving us confidence going into the game. But yeah, that didn't happen. We would like dominated. Couldn't get hold of the ball, kept getting away whenever I had it. Couldn't drive forward like we were doing in like the first 10-15 minutes, and then, you know, we end up losing 2-0. And you know what else is annoying? Fred scored. You know, it did take a deflection off Davis, but Fred, okay. And then of course Fernandez has to score as well. Like he was like rubbish basically up until played us, and we just, I don't know if it's because we made them look good, better than they are. That was like horrible. That took me longer than I would have liked to get over, and I'm probably still not fully over it yet, but I've sort of like got to accept it and like move on from it. And then you're just thinking, okay, so we lost against Man United, we've got a game against Newcastle at home, our home record has been like 100% this season, we've won every game. Go into this game feeling positive, go into this game, and if we get a win, then all is good again. Nope. This is frustrating me. We started the game the better side. Like we were creating a few chances. Son, you know, he had a couple of shots. Kane had a shot. And then people might want to argue against this, but with that Lloris challenge with Wilson, I do think Lloris was fouled. And I said that during my live watch along if you saw it. But I do think it's fouled. So that goal shouldn't have stood for me. And I feel like if that goal didn't happen, their second goal definitely does not happen. So yeah. Basically, well, anyways, let me carry on. Speaking of Lloris, he has made quite a few more errors than he has done. I do think the defence doesn't help. I feel like he's having to do more than he normally would, like he would have done like the end of last season. Definitely was a foul. What I saw, I did think it was a foul. What convinced me was Callum Wilson's arm, the way it went across Lloris. So obviously a bit peed off that VAR did not consider it a foul and it disallowed a goal. But you know, other than that, well, these decisions happen, don't they? VAR is not consistent, or it's not VAR, it's like the officials behind it. So they're not consistent. So, you know, we're gonna sit here and moan about like these decisions, and like it's gonna happen all the time because it's just not good enough. Anyways, I'm not gonna sit here and complain about the ref. I could do, but yeah, there's a lot more problems than just like the ref's decisions. Also regarding that goal, I feel like if Dyer, instead of complaining, would have run back to the goal line, he could have cleared that ball and it wouldn't have gone in. obviously the whistle hadn't gone, so play was continuing on. So instead of, you know, just standing there flapping your arms about, do you know what I mean? You could have just like prevented the goal in the first place, because obviously you know he's going to shot, because Lloris is out his technical area. What am I chatting about? He's outside his box, so he can't do, like, he's been bombarded to the ground or whatever. Whether you think it's a soft or it should be a foul, the way I see it, definitely was a foul. So yeah, so if one of the defenders decided, oh no, someone's got a free shot at goal, let me go and protect it. No, they just stood there complaining, which, do you know what? We could have done that if it was on the pitch. So that's that first goal. And then from there on, it was just atrocious. Almiron getting the second goal. Like, come on, like, seriously. Like, don't get me wrong, he's a good player in that, and he's definitely improved under Eddie Howe in that. But we definitely should be defending that a lot better. Session and Longley don't know what they were doing. And then we end up being 2-0 down, and it's basically game over, do you know what I mean? Like, obviously I'd hoped that we could turn it around with the players. If they just, you know, went for it and performed at the best, then yeah, we could have turned it around. Going second half, obviously we show a little bit more. We get a corner. Kane scores from the corner. Even when we're performing badly, Kane is still racking up his numbers. Not as good as Haaland is at the moment, but was that 10 goals now in the Premier League? We're like 12 games in. So yeah, so we get that sort of, we get sort of back into the game sort of, and then we didn't really create anything. Subs came on, you know, they tried. We definitely missed Javier Romero, like, that was clear. Yeah, and we definitely, you know, the play we missed the most is Kulusevski. Like, if we need him back, and hopefully that's soon. Obviously his Instagram post, if not for tomorrow's game, then hopefully for the weekend. We need him badly, and hopefully the other injuries aren't too bad either, because again, we need them. Also, Richarlison post on his Instagram, so his was more like a pigeon, so maybe that's alluding to the fact that he might also be back soon. But obviously it was 2 weeks, weren't it, that he was out, so who knows. Yeah, because we were lacking attacking options on the bench. Obviously, we have Mora, who's come back from injury. Hill, he isn't really getting looking that much. But yeah, we need the injured players back. And then if performances don't improve, then you can sort of like question what some of the players as well. But yeah, the Newcastle game ended in defeat. I was hoping we could turn it around. At least get a draw, do you know what I mean? Like, obviously it would have been like a bad result, but it's better than losing at the end of the day. But even though losing that game, we're still third in the table. Like, we're not far off. Like, we're, what, 5 points off top? Obviously Arsenal drawing. Obviously that would have been 7 points and it would have stayed like that, but it's only like 5 points on the top. We're in third. Newcastle moving to top 4. So the table doesn't look bad, but the performances, like the last 2, have been dreadful. If we got anything out of the game, we would have been really, really lucky. Frustrating thing is we started both the games really well, when normally we start slow and sluggish. We started well, and then the other team grows into the game, and it's like all of that effort that we had to start drops, and we revert back to just defending and whatnot. We need time, we need patience. Obviously, a lot of fans don't have that right now, which is really, really weird, considering we all knew the shit that Conte came into. Like, has he been here a year yet? Like, almost. But he hasn't been here a year yet. And then he ends up getting us top 4. Like, surprisingly, we end up top 4. With the way the squad is, and then we made, like, obviously we're gonna need more transfer windows, get a few more players out. Obviously we've still got all those players on loan that need to be sold, and obviously it's difficult to get rid of them because the wages they're on, and like no one wants them, and it's like, you know what I mean. So yeah, now the whole Conte in, Conte out, I feel like this shouldn't even be a discussion right now. Do you know what I mean? Like, it shouldn't be spoken about. So this season, we obviously, you could talk about the way we performed and like the results that we, like the games we won. We haven't exactly been like amazing, whatnot. But I'll never understand a fan base being top of their Champions League group, being third in the league, and then just wanting their manager to be sacked. It just it doesn't make sense as to how you could be third in the Premier League, 12 games in, and people are calling for the manager to be sacked. If you're like a Conte out, can you just comment down below as to why? Because it just doesn't make sense to me. Like, people act like we're like a relegation battle, we're like far off than we should be, but realistically, yes, it has been 2 awful performances like recently. Obviously we lost against Arsenal, you can mention that one. The Sporting game as well that we lost. But it's not terrible, do you know what I mean? Like, we need more time, and some of these players either need to shape up or they can be at the door. I don't really want to, you know, be on certain individuals, but, you know, the ones that haven't been really performing. But I don't understand how people can say this is Conte, this is on the manager. Like, Conte doesn't go out there and ask the players to lose the ball every time they have it. He doesn't tell them to misplace passes that are like the 5-yard passes. Like, obviously he's not telling them to do that. Whatever the situation is, need more time, need patience, as I've said. And if we sack Conte, or like Conte leaves or whatever, Kane's out the door. Son will probably go as well. More likely Kane will than Son, but you never know. So be careful what you wish for, guys, because we're not going to get a better manager Conte. And people mention Tuchel, but why do we keep going for like ex-Chelsea managers? It doesn't make sense. And all we wanted was like a manager like Conte. We got him. Like, can you imagine where we were last season under Nuno? Do you know what I mean? It's like ridiculous that people are calling for Conte to be out when it's not even Conte that's the problem. It was the same under Pochettino, it was the same under Mourinho. Nuno, it was different. We weren't ever going to get top 4 with Nuno, but yeah, it was just players. Yeah, it wasn't going to happen. But with Conte, he's not the problem. It's certain players that are not performing that's the problem. Constant errors, constant mistakes and whatnot. So we need to lay off Conte because it's not his fault that some of the players just can't perform. And obviously we've got injuries and stuff. So yeah, those are my thoughts on the Conte situation. It just, yeah, if you have any other thoughts regarding anything, then comment down below. But yeah, so basically this is all for today's video. I could sit here and like rant and ramble on, but I feel like I've done that way too much recently. Yeah, if you did enjoy this video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe down below, more videos coming your way. Live watch on tomorrow for the Sporting game. I would say I'm looking forward to it, but I'm kind of on the fence really, just because I'm just fearful of another one of those performances like Man United or Newcastle. I'll probably be feeling a bit more positive tomorrow when the game comes about, but for now I'm just really worried about it. But yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow at that live watch along. Bye guys.